In this video, I'm going to share with you a tool that absolutely any beginner can use and, accordingly, make money with it. We're going to talk about support and resistance levels. If you think that this tool is already long outdated, I actually want to show you the opposite in this video, that this tool still works very well and that you can make really good money with it, even without any experience. And for the sake of experiment, let's try to make about $5,000 profit on my balance using these levels in this video. That is, so that my balance reaches about $124,000 or $125,000. Let's go. Right now, I'm opening a buy trade, bouncing off the level. This is exactly the kind of strategy we're going to break down today. We'll be working with bounces. I'll show you all the possible scenarios. We'll look at sideways movement, trend trading, and after this video, you'll be able to replicate all these situations in the market exactly. Don't worry, the topic is really simple and any beginner trader can figure it out. If you think that technical analysis doesn't work, that levels don't work, just take a look right here. We had as many as 5 bounces, and now we have the 6th situation. So yes, the price is making a deep breakout, and that does happen. But still, we can get a very strong bounce right now, and a strong level will always work out in history. We'll see in practice that levels really do work, and most importantly, how to trade off them. Let's watch this trade. We have 1 second left. And yes, good momentum, as you can see, brings me $1,000. Such a simple level. We'll also break down how resistance and support levels work, and what the differences between them are. And, as I said, after this video you'll be able to start making money with levels. Let's move on. But first, I want to remind you that in our Telegram channel, IDA Trading Booster, you can grab ready-made strategies and, accordingly, choose the best currency pairs for yourself. We also share training every day. So, if you truly want to make money from trading, if you genuinely want to get quality content that will effectively lead you to significant profit, then please follow the convenient link in the description and start earning with us today. We already have a very big and dedicated team, over 14,000 people, who really want to learn and who are actively learning trading. So, you can become one of them and start earning with us. Anyway, I'll leave the link in the description. Be sure to join our Telegram channel. Now, let's move on. So, what's the difference between a support level and a resistance level? If we open any currency pair, let's even turn off all the indicators, we'll actually have 2 situations. Look, at the top we have a resistance level. That is, it's the level that doesn't let the price go through. So, we'll mark it in red. That's if you want to label it correctly. Below, we have the support level, which holds up the price and, accordingly, doesn't let it go lower. How does this work? Look, at the top, there are sellers. So here we can put the letter S. These are the sellers, and they don't want the price to go higher. So they're pushing down on this level and, accordingly, selling as much of their asset as possible, because it's not in their interest for the price to go up. At the bottom, we have buyers, and, accordingly, they don't want the price to go lower, because they bought in at the bottom and need to sell somewhere around here. So, there's a really intense struggle going on here. As a result, these are very strong levels. So what is this? Anyway, if you notice that the price has touched some kind of invisible level several times, like here for example, we can see that in this area, there were several touches right here. So, we understand that this is a support level, that there's a strong buyer sitting somewhere in this price zone. Yes, you can mark it as an entire range, like this rectangle. You can also mark it with just a single line, and you don't have to remember it as some specific price number. No, it can be a price value ranging from one number to another. In other words, an entire price range. This whole area can be a support zone, and in the same way, there can be a resistance zone above, where the sellers are. So, just remember that the price comes into this range, into this area, and only from there does it get a reaction. It's not profitable for either sellers or buyers for the price to go further. That's why they'll always be fighting. And remember, we have a certain range between these 2 levels. Let's imagine that above here we have sellers, and they're basically playing a game of ping pong. In other words, the price moves back and forth between one side and the other. So, the more times the level is touched, the stronger it becomes. To actually call something a level, we need at least 2 touches. That's already a good level. If we have 3 touches, then it's a confirmed level that you can work with. So if you have a first touch, a second touch, and a third touch, then on the 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th touch, the level will work really well for you. And just so you understand, even looking at the past, I've marked these 2 levels, and we can see that they work really well historically. So, what does this give us? It gives us the understanding that even just trading from the level, we can close 60 to 70% of profitable trades simply by following this basic principle. But if you listen further to all the nuances I'm going to tell you, you'll be able to make up to 90% profitable trades on levels. Let's move on to these very nuances and see them in practice. Look, I promised to show you trending and non-trending movements. Our safest trades will be those opened in the direction of the trend. So, how do we do this? First, we need to find a good uptrend or downtrend. At the moment, there aren't any. Well, or for example, let's say, so what would I do here? I mark this level and open a sell tray from it. So right now, my trade is opened in the direction of the trend. We can all see that there's a strong downward movement here. I think that's pretty clear already. So, I opened the trade on a bounce from the level. We only trade on the bounce. Right now, we're not considering how to break through this level. We work on the bounce. This is actually very safe. So, we can see that here's the first touch, here's the second touch, and the third one was right here, which gave us more confirmation. And then, on the fourth touch, I open a sell trade. So, a bounce trade opened in the direction of the trend is going to be quite safe. How do you do that? If you see a good downward movement, draw a level for yourself and wait for the price to reach it. When the price approaches, makes a correction, that's when you open a safe sell trade from that point. I hope that's clear. This works both with upward and downward movements, so you can make money in both cases. But the best levels are found in sideways movement. The thing is, we don't get sideways movement that often where we can really make good money. We'll open the next trade for $2,000. So with upward movement, everything will be exactly the same, just the other way around. Here, the price is moving up, so we wait. Let's say we have a level. We wait for the price to approach this level, and from here, we open our buy trade in the uptrend. I hope you remember that. Let's now take a much closer look at yet another practical example. Shall we consider? Look, if at this particular moment you genuinely don't fully understand precisely where the significant levels are located, then it is absolutely better to simply skip them entirely. Just wait for that exact situation, yeah, and don't make mistakes. A very common mistake among beginner traders is marking almost every level on the chart and trying to figure out which level will work out now. That's a mistake. Mark the nearest two, at most 3 levels that are close to the price, and then enter on a bounce from them, yeah. And again, it's better to go in the direction of the trend. So right now, it's an uptrend. Accordingly, I need to open trades when the price comes down from above to this level, or even this level. On the contrary, from the upper level, there could be a breakout along the trend, so it's better not to trade from those. And as I said earlier, don't mark too many levels. By the way, here we actually have a pretty good example of sideways movement. Yeah, we can open a buy trade with you right from here. Look, we really do have sideways movement here. But we had a breakout beyond our working area, so you need to understand that this kind of thing happens, right? This exact kind of breakout, which is right here. It's normal, it really does happen. Plus, let's keep looking. We had 1 touch, 2 touches. Well, this can also be considered a touch. Use the 4th touch, so we can see a clear boundary of the sideways movement. Let's look at the bottom. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's 5. So, there was a breakout here, and then the 6th and 7th touches. So, from there, I enter a buy position. But as you can see, this level doesn't hold. And yeah, it looks like we're heading to the lower zone, but still, the example was pretty decent. So, if you follow all the rules I mentioned earlier, you really can achieve 90% profitable trades. Let's open the next trade for $3,500 and cover this loss. It's a pretty unpleasant one, but still, I was prepared for it. British pound, dollar. We can also enter here following the trend. Yes, first of all, we have a strong upward trend here. If we look at the bigger picture, the price is rising. You can see that by the lower boundary. But also, the price has entered a certain range here. By the way, if we look at the 1-minute chart, there was a very old level here that started a long time ago and is still working well for us. By the way, you can trade from these levels on both the 1-minute and 3-minute time frames. The longer your candle time, the safer the level will be accordingly. Right now, the price has entered this range, which means, as I said, the price can react either immediately from the upper boundary, from the lower boundary, or even from the middle of the range. And we're seeing a good reaction of almost 20 points already. So, as you can see, our ranges are working out beautifully. On top, we just have a horizontal line, but below, there's a whole price range. Keep that in mind when you're trading, especially since the payout here is good, and I'm getting $3,200. Not a bad result. I'll open the next trade for $3,000, the final one. Here, on the US dollar/Canadian dollar, the price is coming right to our level. This trade is in line with the trend, so this is the safest trade. Here we have a downtrend. Here's our horizontal level. The price comes to this level, and accordingly, we enter a sell trade with the trend from here. So, as I said, this is a very safe entry point, and it's better, if you're just starting out, to try exactly these kinds of entry points. But while we're waiting for this trade, I want to remind you to subscribe to our Telegram channel, because that's where we post all our training and detailed information. You can also read more about levels there. So, if you truly want to make money, and if you desire to get quality trading education, then please follow the link in the description and subscribe to our official Telegram channel. I wasn't able to close the final trade. It ended up breaking even, and after that, the price actually moved in the right direction. Okay, I'm not upset. I'll just open another trade next. So here, I didn't lose anything and I didn't make anything either. Apparently, there wasn't enough volume to bounce off this level. And now, on the Euro/Swiss franc pair, I'm opening a sell trade. We already had a good level marked here. And by the way, A huge advantage of these levels is that once you've marked them on the chart, they'll keep working for you even a month or two later. So you'll be able to see all the key levels where it's worth making money. Just look at this movement, minus 27 points. An excellent trade brings me 1,400 bucks. Yeah, I didn't manage to make 125,000, but still, I earned almost 124,000. So that's a net profit of 4,000 bucks. That's a really good result, considering I used such a simple tool. I hope after this video it's become clearer to you how to work with levels, how to mark them, and, accordingly, where our support and resistance are. It's actually not that important, but it's just good to know, yeah, just for logic's sake, where the sellers are and where the buyers are. And, accordingly, these guys don't let the price go higher or lower. So, share your results with our team in the support account. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Also, don't forget to join our Telegram channel if you want to earn together with us. And also, subscribe to this channel. Give it a like. With that, I wish you a great day, success in trading, and see you soon.